Hello, hello, and welcome back. Laura, she might be like floating on a cloud all day today because she saw Benson Boone last night, or we saw Benson Boone last night, which was pretty cool. So she's
I'm a
been like
booner. What can I say?
all crazy all day, yesterday and today. So
Yes, last night was amazing. He's so good live. Voice, chef's kiss. All right. I thought you were going to say, because earlier when I said we should start the show, I should go, Welcome
no,
to Treasure Hunt Travelers. And I thought
oh
that's what you
boy,
were going to say.
no,
We'll take that. Bloopers. Okay, go ahead.
no, it's all staying in. It's all staying in. So
I shouldn't have known. Okay. All right. Get us rolling.
I just did. I introduced us.
No, I thought you had something you wanted to say. I mean, I was just going to mention something really quick
That
about our boots on the ground, but.
Then go for it. I guess we should have planned this a little better, huh?
Oh, okay. I know. Well, it was the Benson Boone concert. We're all thrown off. Okay, so we
Yeah.
are back. If you saw our last episode, we came back now home from our last boots on the ground. And this happens, I want to say every single time, but it's not every single time. It's many of the single times is that we come back. This time, actually, we technically hadn't left our boots on the ground trip. We hadn't even come home yet. And I said,
Yeah, it was like the morning we were coming home. So
there's like a place in our search area that we probably should check, but we haven't. And it does fit a lot of things from like a hiding hole perspective, which I will get into later. Because that's what I'm excited about this week. But as usual, we get done, and we were physically and emotionally done anyway. I don't think we could, even if we tacked an extra day on to our boots on the ground, I do not think I had it in me. I just don't think I did. I was so done. I was ready to be home. We were gone a week. I mean, like from start to finish. So anyway,
when your soccer knee problem was acting up too. So
yes, old soccer injury was starting to creep in. But with that said, we kind of narrowed down a little bit not narrowed down our search area, but highlighted an area that we thought, ooh, in our search area, there's only a few sections left. And one of them that I saw from where I was, we had split up. One of the places I could see, I thought, oh, that's a very good area. But yeah, we just didn't have enough to like push on. We were supposed to leave the next day, and we just said, we'll be back. It's fine. We'll be back. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's all I was going to say, was just a quick little boots on the ground wrap up that, yes, once again, we are thinking of some things that gets narrowed down after we're done, and then we end up going back again soon. So
Yeah, and we'll be going back soon. So I'm surprised we're not up there today, but
well, I really would
just knowing how you are and like, we got to get there.
I know. Well, in full transparency, it's pretty much this soccer injury that's been kind of rekindled. It's not bad, but I can just tell it's there, where normally, and this was 20 years ago this happened. So every once in a while I just go, oh, yep, there's that old injury. So I'm just trying to give myself some time to fully get that back to normal anyway. So it's just as well that we're not trying to go back today. Although mentally, I'd be ready to be back. But okay. All right.
All right,
You have one more thing? Yep, go ahead.
If one more thing is, we thought of something from a previous episode and we're thinking, oh, well, I want to mention one more thing about that. So I wanted to bring up when you talked about the magnifying glass and then that little 5-1, or what we believe is
what
5-1.
I think is page 51, yeah.
And it's leading us to page 51.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in that same chapter is the Fabergé Imperial egg, the third Fabergé Imperial egg.
Mm-hmm.
And the time on that clock is 2:14. And a lot of people are saying, oh, maybe it means Valentine's Day. I kind of wrote it off as meaningless because John didn't have any control over what time was on that egg. It's just, it is what it is.
Right.
But he does have control over the magnifying glass, and he has control over where he puts those little symbols or those little things that we think he added. And where are those? right at, if you were to look at the magnifying glass as a clock face, yeah, they're right at 14.
Right around there.
Yeah, so they're really
So, yeah.
close. And so I think that might be telling us when, he says, look at the details. He's mentioning the egg. The time is 2:14. Look where the 14 is on the clock
because he could have,
face.
whatever the time was in that picture, you're saying, whatever the time was, he could have just put him there. So, yeah, it could be another redirectional to look at what only thing in that chapter that looks like a clock, which is the magnifying glass. It has a perfect, great round clock shaped circle
one more
on
thing
it.
One more thing I do want to mention too is we focus on that little notch at the top of that picture on page 51, but there's three other sides of that picture. Yeah, there's three other pictures or three other sides to that picture that have weird stuff on them. I don't want to go into it all today, but just wanted to mention that there are other things in that picture that we think could be ties, but we're not sure yet. So.
Well, and I don't think we're ready to say why those tie to.
Well, yeah, that's why I just kind of
Oh, I know. That's what I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that we're both kind of like, ugh.
Well, we're not even sure that it's real either. We're still like, I don't know. So yeah,
one of those tears
we're not sure about.
Is pretty distinctive.
Yeah.
One of the corners on that emerald picture. Okay, we're going to tie it with a bow. Okay.
Move on.
Okay. I'll get to my
Your
one
turn.
more thing. All right. My turn. So my one more thing I just thought of later was, so the AI heart. Okay. I don't remember what, page 188. The AI heart, right? There's the little squiggle icon lower left of the heart. And as we've already talked about, if you haven't watched episode 11, by the way, this is your directive to go watch our episode 11 so we can give you all the details on what's going on with this AI heart, what we think that little squiggle icon, anyway, what it all means, and how we got
link
to
the
our
episode
conclusion.
I'll link the episode in the description. And I'll put a little tag up here somewhere on the top of the page too.
Excellent. Wherever it is. Okay. So that little icon, we believe, as a quick Cliff's note, we believe it's supposed to represent Rob's open left upturned hand, right? Like holding that rock on page 49, I think it is. So with that, right, I started thinking like, okay, left hand. Does he maybe emphasize left to like get us to kind of like it's his left hand, right? Because you can tell by the little icon, if you look at it on the AI heart, it definitely looks like a left hand because you can see the thumb, right? So I decided just to go back really quick. And there's obviously a ton of uses of the word left and right. But when you make the distinction of left meaning a side, left or right, and right meaning a side, left or right, it narrows things down a lot because he uses obviously the word left. They were left behind. I left a clue. That's not left as in the side. So I took out all of the uses of left and right that were not a side, okay? And I got to 8. There were 8 uses of left and right as a side. Only one of those was meaning the right side. The other 7 are all left side references. Yes. So it was like, I'll just off the top of my head, it was like, obviously the big one was the 5 gifts of Hathor are the 5 fingers, and he says, of your left hand. I think Wilma Rudolph, it was like her left leg. He just had a bunch of references to left. So that gave me a little bit more like, I think he's trying to emphasize left. If he wasn't, that's really a lot to not doing it on purpose. But just my little thing that came to mind later when I was looking, I thought I already think it's a left hand anyway because of the orientation of the icon on the AI heart picture. But for him to emphasize left in all the instances he could, it's a lot of lefting. So anyway, that was my one more thing, maybe.
And then on TTI Unofficial, they had an interview with Rob Levinsky, and he was talking about that picture, and he was wondering if it was possibly reversed because he was saying that he's right-handed, so he's not sure how he would hold it. But I mean, it's a
So it
possibility.
could even have been, yeah. So it could even been, good point. Yeah.
Because he said that was a personal picture. Because I've looked everywhere for that picture online, and I've never been able to find it. And he said it's like a personal picture his wife took on her iPhone.
On his cell phone.
And
Yeah. It's a cell phone picture.
Yeah. Yeah, her cell phone. Yeah, and she just sent it, or he sent it to John because John asked for a picture of him. So.
Yep. Yeah. And during that interview, I think that was when he had said, I'd sent John all these photos of like emeralds and stuff. And John came back and said, I deleted all those. I want one with you holding it or holding a.
Yeah. Holding something. Yeah. Yeah. So,
So lots of little breadcrumb confirmers, courtesy of Unofficial Podcast, which amazing that they interviewed him because that had a lot of little confirmers for us. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a good interview. I'll link that in the description also. So if you haven't seen it yet, you need to go watch the Rob Levinsky
Definitely
interview.
to watch that one. So good. So good.
Yep.
All right. So what are you excited about this week?
Well, it's not really, it doesn't have anything to do with a clue. It's more of a question. And it's a question to you and anybody that will pipe up and tell us what they think also. So leave a comment below if you agree with me, if you think I'm nuts, whichever way it goes. So I want to discuss, I want to discuss how rough it will be to actually find the lion's share treasure. And by rough, I mean how physically demanding or what's expected, because there's so much stuff. We know that it's not going to just be in the middle of a park. You're going to walk into this park, the birds are singing, you're going to walk up to a shady tree on this nicely mowed grass and pick up this treasure box and walk away. That's just not going to happen. I mean,
like a scene out of Snow White or something.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, I mean, well, I'll get into it. So we've already mentioned the Brave the Thorns. I mentioned a previous episode. And then I think back to like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You should have seen our arms. We were like, it looked like we each got attacked by a cat. That was probably after catnip, but
yeah.
But I think back to like our earlier boots on the ground trips, and I remember we were a totally different area. We're in the same general area, but we were on a different side. Yeah. And we're like, I'm not going to go through this 5 feet of thorn bushes because I don't think John would do that to us. I don't think he would. And now it's like, we go through thorns like you would not believe, and just like, yeah, totally shredded our arms up and our hands.
The bar has gotten really low.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And that's where my question comes in, because I'll read. Well, start off with in the American Treasure Podcast, episode 2, and I didn't give references last time. I just mentioned it off the cuff, and somebody didn't even think it was real, but it is real. He said it's minute 32 of the podcast. He says, just after that, he says, I was pushing my limits. And then he also says, to have carried it all would have just killed me. John seems like a fairly fit guy. So I'm thinking to push his limits, it's got to be a little rough. And then in the postscript, in his safety talk, he says, I've hidden none of our 5 treasures boxes in a dangerous place. I mean, it's not hazardous to arrive at any box, nor does any box reside in a perilous spot. No box is precariously close to a swift current or a high or dangerous ledge. You will not need to scale a cliff or rock face to find a box. But then I go to the whole blaze your own path thing, and it's like, it's not going to be just a walk in a park. Right. So I'm wondering, how far has he pushed it? I mean, we have done some. Okay, short story. Laura fell into a hole that we thought was a hole. It was wild. It scared the absolute crap out of me. Because we're crossing. It's a pretty steep incline. It's like probably like 45-degree incline. It's like fairly steep.
It was very steep. Yeah.
But then we crossed over this part that was even steeper. and her foot slipped and she started sliding down. So I'm like trying to grab a hold of her. She's like, she slides out. I could still see her. And then like within a second, I could see Laura no longer. She was gone.
I disappeared under like a massive brambles and trees.
Obviously she survived, but it's scared the crap out of me. I'm like, what the heck? We should not have even attempted to cross that. But at the same time, I'm thinking, this is a $2 million treasure in this one box. John's not going to make it easy. He's not going to make it just, I don't think anybody who's not in decent physical shape is going to have an easy time getting to the box anyway. Because it's just like, he's not going to leave it just anywhere, you know? So that's my big question is how...
Can we clarify really quick though? Because ultimately, when I slid down this dusty hillside and kind of just disappeared under this thing of brambles, but to give context, it wasn't anything that big of a deal. It was maybe 10 feet of soil. I just slid down and said, "Oh, I'm just at the bottom." Like it wasn't, if you call it the bottom, I mean it almost makes it comical to talk about it now, but because you couldn't see where I had ended up, you were like,
no,
oh my gosh.
That's what freaked me out is I couldn't tell. Yeah.
So to be clear, I was never in any kind of danger of even breaking a bone. It was literally, I just slid down a little dirty, dusty hillside, but it's because the foliage concealed me. He couldn't tell where I'd gone. But yeah, it was not dangerous. In the end, it was not dangerous. Just so people are aware. All right, proceed. Go ahead.
We didn't know that at the time. When you started sliding, we had no idea what was below us.
In the middle of my slide in the dark, I also was a little bit like, where am I going to end up here? But
yeah. And funny, it turns out that where you slid to is where we started going in from then on.
Yes.
We didn't even try to attempt the top part. We just went in that bottom part and we went in through there. So it was like,
Yep.
You actually discovered a new area for us.
I know, right? Oops.
But anyway, that's my main question is how far, I mean, you can answer it now, and then I'm sure we'll get comments, but how far do you think John would push this safety thing? Would he have us climbing a 45-degree hill up 50 feet, 100 feet? Would he have us, I mean, what's the level of danger you think is
like, is
acceptable?
he okay with the...
And still be safety, yeah.
Yeah. Like, is he okay with a possible sprain, but not a broken bone or mortal danger? It's like, because obviously, a lot of these things, obviously, that are not inherently dangerous, you could still end up doing something funky. So then I think, well, I mean, a sprain something isn't, I think, beyond the realm of possibility. Not that he's planning for that. Like, oh, if they take this wrong, they're going to sprain something. I just think when he's hiding them, he's thinking generally, if someone's not doing anything silly to get to this, they should be able to come in and out of it intact without having hurt themselves. But that is such a hard line to pinpoint because the extremes are easy. Yeah, the extremes are easy. Like you said, it's not going to be a walk in the park, and it's also not going to be like you're scaling Everest to reach a treasure box. So what part in the middle there, what is he comfortable with? And you have to be thinking about that in the moment that your boot's on the ground, that you're actually either getting to your search area or in your search area. That has to be a thought because as we're doing this, you are thinking, well, is this reasonable? Yeah. But then you get to some parts and you go, I'm not in mortal danger. I'm not even probably in danger of breaking a bone. But this is a little not walking the parky. So
yeah. Well, and I want no one to think that I'm like saying, yeah, you got to take chances. No, if you're uncomfortable, stop, turn around. I'm in no way saying that. If you, it's just,
we have
it's a
said
little
that.
precarious. Maybe I'll try. No, but
we have said
we've
that.
Turned around.
I know you and I a couple times have said, well, what if it's over there? And we say to ourselves, if that's where it is, we'll never find it because it's not in a place that we're comfortable. We don't think he would leave it there.
Exactly.
So we've stopped
And
ourselves a few times before we narrowed our search area down a little bit more. There was a couple times,
I think it's personal to each person, individual person also. It's like, what are you comfortable with? What are you capable of? What are you, is your athletic ability? Are you going to be able to, if you fall in a 10-foot hole, you can be able to climb out,
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah, exactly.
You got stuff that you got to think about when you're out on the trail. It's just, but bottom line is, I don't think it's just going to be an easy walk, pick it up and go.
Right.
I think it's going to be,
it's going to be a workout.
Strenuous. I mean, John said it was strenuous to hide. So, yeah,
it's going to be a workout, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be inherently dangerous. So, we're somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but just a thought that came into my head, especially after this last trip with you falling and stuff. I'm just thinking, how far should we be going?
I slid. I didn't really fall.
Let me know in the comments. What is your?
I went like this.
Okay.
I didn't. It's like I don't want people picturing me on a precipice, and I'm like, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I just slid and then kept sliding about 10 feet.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right.
Okay.
So we'll see what people say.
That's my question.
What their comments are.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Leave it to the people to see what they think also. All right. So my thing I'm excited about this week, our things kind of overlap a little bit, which doesn't surprise me because we just came back from boots on the ground. But I am focusing on the hiding hole. So, we've talked about, I think in our last episode, we outlined our clue groups. So we've got like region of the United States, state, city, park, boots on the ground, hiding hole. So I'm focusing on the hiding hole piece of it because I feel like that's kind of where we're stuck. Like we're trying to figure out where exactly, not only just safety, like you said, but just what are the things that actually are clues that are referring to the hiding hole, and which are just things that are completely unrelated, but yet people are maybe thinking they're clues. I don't know. Anyway. So what I was going to first say was John gives some indication, at least to me, and I'll give you some things that made me think this. It makes it pretty clear that when he was going to be hiding these, he had to have had some kind of specific criteria in mind, right? Like some of the things I'm sure were very specific, like this. But then there's also just that like, I don't know what to call it, the comfort factor of just feeling good, something that maybe he couldn't even quantify, but just that feeling of this feels right. There's got to be that in there too somewhere, but I obviously can't analyze that because I don't know what that would be. But so this criteria is probably going to be somewhere hiding it that he is going to feel completely comfortable, as much as you can feel comfortable, right? Hiding a $1 to $2 or whatever $1 million treasure.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be comfortable enough that he can leave it and then walk away and be okay with it, right? So one of the things he said that I noticed was in chapter 16, the Atlanta Olympics, he's talking about being concerned about if this, maybe it's failure, maybe he's talking about failure, but he says, I was concerned if I could find appropriate hiding spots to leave 5 treasure boxes. So, I mean, it kind of goes without saying, I guess, but he is specifically outlining that he had concerns about not being able to find places that felt right to him, either with all the things he had in mind, and then also just the feeling of comfort. So on top of that, then also in a couple different places, I know one of them was the TreasureCon Q&A that he did interview. He was saying how, of course, he did not want them to be found accidentally.
Yeah.
Right. But at the 17-minute, 37-second timestamp, roughly, he said, I just put them in places I don't think passersby would go by. A lot of the reconnaissance I did was to ensure that people would not accidentally stumble across it. I mean, it's within the realm of possibility. There's never a 0% chance, but I just put them where people don't naturally go. So we've already got, obviously, there's still a little gray area, but they're more concrete ideas around what what he was aiming for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's obviously one of them, which we have all of us have already talked about. And then kind of overlapping on what you mentioned about he also didn't want it to be anywhere dangerous to get to, right? So not even just where he left it, which is what I'm talking about, but also being able to get to it to begin with. He didn't want that, obviously, any of it to be dangerous. So yeah, I'm a little bit paraphrasing kind of on what you said, but that same American Treasure podcast with Dave Colonna, episode 2, timestamp 15 minutes, 15 seconds in. I'm not going to hide a box near anywhere dangerous. It's not going to be near a cliff's edge. It's not going to be near the edge of a lake or river. It's not going to be in some sort of cave that you have to crawl into and get stuck. It's not going to happen. If you endanger yourself, it's 100% on you. So that, of course, naturally starts giving us some more concrete ideas about things he didn't do. Now, of course, side note really fast, the mention that he made in that episode about the cave, because people have gone back and forth either on Discord, on podcasts, talking about the fact that he quantified or qualified the cave, because he didn't just say it's not going to be in some sort of cave, or he didn't say some sort of scary cave or deep cave. He just said it's not going to be in some sort of cave that you have to crawl into and get stuck.
Yeah.
So he did qualify.
I took that to heart on our last one. So.
The type of cave. Yes. Yes. So who knows? We don't know. Well, maybe eventually we will, what he meant by, if he was trying to say it could be in something cave-like, but not one that you could get stuck in. I mean, we don't know if that's what he's saying, right? All right. So hiding hole. We have some sort of concrete ideas. John's obviously got I'm assuming, some kind of idea in his head about what he's looking for as far as places he's going to actually hide this box. So if I'm John and I've spent 5 years of my life, $1 to possibly even $2 million, I mean, we don't know, creating this whole thing, plus obviously all the money he spent that's not in the treasure. Side note, I think a lot of people forget that. All of the money it cost him just to put this on, if you want to call it like admin costs or overhead costs, because a lot of people start doing the math about, well, if he made, 40 to 50%, profit on each book times, 100,000, 200,000 books. Oh, he's definitely in the black. You don't know when he's in the black.
Yeah. Well, all the traveling he did.
Oh, traveling, lawyer fees, the cost of even getting the book made. And any of this stuff. I mean, not to mention like the fees that are taken out of the cost of the book. I mean, just getting himself, the researchers he had to hire, the editor he had to hire. I mean, there is a lot of unknown costs, and I think people need to give him a bit more grace, at least those that get their pitchforks out a little bit. I just wanted to, I couldn't not say that, because it bothers me when people just do some
Laura
simple
Rant.
Yes, Laura Rant alert, cocktail napkin math, and go, oh yeah, he's made money by this point. Who cares? Like, you don't even know how much this has all cost him. So anyway, get off my soapbox. So if I'm him and I've got this $1 to $2 million box, and plus however much it costs to do all this, it's 5 years of my life. I am not going to settle for leaving them in a spot that doesn't meet all my requirements. I'm going to find a new place. I just don't think I'm going to settle. And even he said he had places where he went multiple places for a box before deciding where it was going to actually get left. So I think he was perfectly willing to scrap some ideas and find a new one if it didn't provide exactly the kind of environment that he needed, right? So
yeah. Oh, I thought a lot about that on our last Boots on the Ground, because there were spots I thought, oh, this is perfect. Why didn't he hide it here? But then it wasn't easy to find, but it was still, it's like easier than it should be. And, and there was like a beer can that was like 20 feet away. So it's like, yeah, there could have been, somebody hanging out around here, and they could easily have just looked down in this little hole and, oh yeah, look, a whole box. Let me see what's in here.
You have segued perfectly into my...
Oh, sorry.
No,
okay.
It's great.
Okay. All right.
Perfectly
I thought I
into my...
again.
No. I had like 5, I think it's 5, just 5 points I wanted to make around where we can sort of think he is or is not going to hide it. Like, so one of the 5, which is the first one, was I don't think he would leave it somewhere where it's disguised essentially only by foliage. Right.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be probably sitting out. So to your point about someone's drinking a beer with their buddies, they've managed to get to walk through this area that most people don't. Well, still people can. It's not going to just be in like a little depression hidden by some foliage. Like it's far too likely one that foliage could die back if, and even if it's evergreen. Yeah, even if it's evergreen, any other kind of nature related things, whether it's fire or trees falling or something happening where it's just going to be exposed like that by nature itself. I don't think he's going to feel comfortable just thinking, oh, that's good enough. That's covered enough. I don't think it's going to be like that. So, not to mention that the size of the lion's share box, which is what we're talking about, by the way, right now, the lion's share box plus the protective container, that's already going to eliminate some of the ability to having it that exposed. It's large. This isn't something that's just like this big. We're talking something like with the container, probably like this. You can't just leave. What foliage is going to be able to keep that covered in any way? So again, just don't think that's going to be possible. Side note, I was pleasantly surprised. I think it was, you told me 3D Bronze had done an estimate of what the dimensions were, he thought, of the lion's share box based on the items that were shown in the treasure chest pictures. And I had the exact same, I think, dimensions as I had 12 by 12 square looking down on it. And then a height of about 7 inches. I think it was 6.9 or whatever. And that's what I think he came up with too. So essentially, if we picture what would look like a 12-inch, like a typical 12-inch floor tile, and then it's 7 inches off the ground, that's about the size of the treasure box, we think, itself. And then, of course, you've got the case around it. So that's quite a thing to hide. Like, I think he did have a harder time with the lion's share box because the other boxes, obviously, just by sheer size alone is going to like make you really have to pay attention to where you're trying to leave these things, right? So, okay. So number 1 was just, I don't think he'd leave it somewhere where it's the main disguise is going to be foliage or bushes or things like that. So the second one was, you would think he would want to leave it somewhere that would be dry as much as possible or most of the time. Like you'd think he wouldn't put it somewhere, even with all the waterproofing and moisture barriers that I'm sure he's accounted for, you still wouldn't want something repeatedly exposed to rain, snow, any kind of weather. You just don't want water constantly, even in a seasonal way. Like you don't want, even if it's going to be only wet during the rainy season. Well, that's still a lot of rain possibly depending on where he left it. So I just don't think he's going to put it somewhere that it's exposed on a regular basis to water. It's going to be concealed in somewhere dry, like a crevice or what have you, right? I know I'd want it tucked away.
Yeah.
Really tucked away, dry. I wouldn't want any water touching or sitting near my $1 million or $2 million treasure.
I know. You think about it, if it's an area that freezes, if it's sitting in a puddle and then it freezes,
that
thaws,
too.
freezes, thaws, freezes, thaws, it's going to damage the outer container eventually.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember seeing on a documentary one time, it was saying like for almost anything, water is one of the most destructive forces in nature. Either by force or by moisture. It ruins a lot of things archaeologically, so I just can't imagine he'd be okay with it being anywhere that was going to get consistent rain or snow or weather or whatever on it. So the third one is, I also don't think he would leave it somewhere that I call that looked interesting, meaning if I'm him, even though sometimes like you're walking along a trail, maybe you're off trail, whatever, and you see, like I know we've done this, we'll go, whoa, that is a crazy looking tree. I thought a Harry Potter or something. And then we think, well, that's the last place he's going to put it. he's not going to put it in something notable that like naturally draws the few passersby that are coming through. He's not going to pick something that draws people to investigate.
And you're
some people
directing
are
that one at me, right?
No, I wasn't. But tell me how
entrance?
Well, yes. I wasn't trying, but innocent bystander. Sorry about that. Yeah, I guess you're right. That does kind of apply. Go ahead and share.
Well, the cave entrance that we found a cave, but the cave entrance was very blocked by foliage and stuff, and you could not see it. We've never seen it before, and I think we've been by there, but we've never noticed the cave entrance because it's pretty well hidden with rocks and stuff. You'd have to like climb up.
You go
through
up
foliage,
and then you see it.
Look around a corner at a 45-degree angle and up.
Yeah.
And then you might be able to see the cave up at the top that you can actually just stand up and walk right into.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a very interesting cave. And first time I think I talked about it in the last episode, I'm like, oh, it's got to be here. I know it's going to be here. I was shaking when I walked in.
You were shaking. And I was the opposite. I was going, and I didn't know that you were shaking at the time, that you were that excited about it. I just thought you were like, let me go peek in this cave. And I am at the bottom thinking, well, it probably can't be in there because that's way too cool of a cave. Like, why? Like if anybody is happening to pass by or notice, like, is that a cave? They're going to go up there. So I just thought,
yeah, I agree.
but it's just funny how we had in that moment, we had such different reactions to your searching of the cave. I was more like, well, when he's done with this, what are we having for lunch? I wasn't even thinking like, I bet he's about to find it. So to that point, I don't think he's going to hide it in or around like a unique looking tree or a unique looking cave or anything that's like a waterfall, something that's drawing someone there. He is going to do the exact opposite. At least if I'm him, I'm going to find somewhere relatively nondescript or that doesn't beg to be investigated. That's all I can really.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, all right. Number 4 was, I think he wants them at the most basic level to be hidden away, right? So first of all, sub point on this being hidden away, the title of the book, right? There's treasure inside. Now, obviously, if he didn't use this as a wink, wink, then it's just like, yeah, there's treasure inside this book. Yeah, okay, fine. Come on. That's such a huge opportunity, the title of the book, to kind of do a little bit of wordplay. So I think there's treasure inside. It's inside something, not like something man-made, but just some kind of semi-protected crevice, gap, crack, hidey spot, natural hidey spot thing, right? So what I think is interesting is he uses this word, to me it stood out at least, the word secreted. He uses the word secreted. He says, I secreted away these boxes in 5 different locations. In another chapter, even if you have no interest in searching for any of the 5 treasure boxes I have secreted away. Okay. Then he uses that same word, secreted, because obviously the first 2 I just said to you are in relation to his treasure, right? He's talking about hiding his own treasures. Then later he uses that same word secreted to describe other treasures or things of value and how they were hidden. So the 2 examples, which I think it gives us some insight possibly into what he thinks secreted means. So he's secreted them, and then here's what secreted means to John. So he's talking about I think it's the Angkor Wat. He's talking about the rings, some of Nuyet's rings. For this reason, rings like ours that survive today, which I thought was interesting, were discovered in hidden caches, secreted away within temple walls. So that's not foliage. That's not a depression in the dirt that's covered by some vines. Like, this is secreted away within temple walls. The other one that he uses that same word to describe a different thing, secreted, the loot or the coins in the shipwreck chapter. It was secreted securely away in barrels deep in Leluz's powder hold. So again, this is like inside, deep, back, this is not exposed. This is not out in the open. And it's also not something, either one of those, they're putting them in these stories. They've put them in places that no one is going to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Not a magnificent looking, funky, twisted tree or a famous cave. That's not where these are, right? These are hidden within temple walls and then also in the powder hold, because you'd think more than likely if someone's looking for something, they're not going to bother going to the powder hold of a ship to look for treasures. So
yeah,
I think he's giving us some insight, intentional or otherwise, as to what he thinks secreted means. And then he tells you, that he's secreted these boxes away. So I do think that he has found, or had to find in order to leave it and walk away, some kind of deep, dry crevice, nook, something that's naturally formed in the area. That's not something he had to create or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. I was going to read the piece from the Treasure Con Q&A when someone asked him about how close you'd have to be to see it. So it was at the 16-minute, 45-second mark. When someone asked him how close you'd have to be to see it, he motioned towards Kimberly, who was, of course, sitting in the chair next to him. And he said, "Pretty close." "Yeah, pretty close. I mean, like, how good is your eyesight?" "Pretty close." Pretty close, he's now said 3 times. "I mean, one of the ways," yeah, and he caught himself. That was where he didn't finish his sentence, right? "I mean, one of the ways," yeah, pretty close. Let's leave it at that. Close. He goes on more. "Close. You need to be close. Probably, and he's gesturing between him and Kimberly. Close." So he definitely stopped himself from saying too much. Now, I'm not going to try to guess what he was about to say. "I mean, one of the ways," that's as far as he got. So who knows? Maybe he'll answer that sometime later after something's found. But
something I found very telling in his comment that he did not put it inside of a fake rock or fake stump.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't create something to secret it away. It sounds like he found something to secret it away inside of, or what we think is he secreted it away. But he found a natural something. He didn't create something,
right?
Which I think is a key to looking for this treasure. Is you got to find some place that you'd feel comfortable hiding $1 million.
Right, exactly. Well, I even think think about him and kind of the way he comes across, and it feels like he loves nature. He loves being outside. It's like the thought of having a fake piece of nature, even just to hide the treasure, just doesn't like flow with kind of John's aura. Not to get wooey. It just doesn't feel like, even if he was like, "Please take the fake rock back out with you, leave no trace." Even if he's, I just don't see him being like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to put a fake rock out in this beautiful nature to hide." I just don't see it. Well, so to your point,
even him saying that, I still kick like so many rocks. I've hit him with sticks.
I know.
Done it all.
Is this
just in
stuff
case.
real?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So that was number 4. So yeah, it's secreted away. And he gives us some hints as to what secreted means. So I think he's secreted it away. Somewhere dry, a crevice, a gap, something natural. The last one I was going to mention was, we've talked about this before, that he mentions roots a lot. 7 times. And as always, whenever I'm trying to determine if a word should be, sparking some inspiration, I go to see what is the average use of the word in modern English books. So in an average book, the size of part 1, which I think is like 64,000 words or something like that. In an average book that size, based on normal usage, you would expect to see the word root or roots once. It's like 1.4 or 1, something like that. In part 1, in his 64,000 words in part 1, it's used 7 times. So that's highly unusual compared to the average, right?
Yeah.
So a couple of the ones, I think we've mentioned them before, but a couple of the ones that really make my little spidey senses tingle. Every rose is rooted onto Earth's soil while reflecting the divine. Of course, side note, divine, he uses in reference to the treasure a couple times in the book. Even the what is it? Haiku, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yes, like here lies a joy divine. Yeah, there's definitely divine working in with the treasure there. So every rose is rooted onto Earth's soil while reflecting the divine. The act of making something wonderful is rooted in one's willingness to attend to the details. And the last third one, I didn't do all 7, just the third one I picked was the one that I like the most. If we want to find the treasures we are seeking, we must remain rooted onto the firm ground of reality. So, is there roots involved? Is it kind of an overhanging embankment that forms a natural kind of dry opening under a root ball or something,
You know, that reminds me too of that, the Thoreau picture of the burning trees.
Yes.
Where you turned it
Good
upside
point.
down and said, "Oh, that looks like roots," and I brought it up in like one of our first episodes.
Yes.
But that's looks like a lot of the places we've looked. So
I know.
and there's lots of roots.
Exactly. So, is that one of the key hiding hole themes that we're supposed to be keeping in mind? So, that was my 5. I just wanted to end with one last little thing that just kind of wraps it up, I guess. One of my favorite lines in the book that again, a little spidey sense one, where he says, "And a simple change in perspective can be all that's required to fill that gap between us and something we desire." It's a gap. It's a crevice. It's a hidey hole nook cranny that's dry, perhaps some roots creating the gap, then something like that. So that was what I focused on this week. That's what I've been excited about. I feel like we're at the hiding hole level of our solve. All the other pieces have kind of check. Okay, yep, we're going in the spot that, okay, that told us where to go in. And now we're getting down to the nitty gritty of where in our search area we should be focusing on. So that's why I did that this week. I want to find this thing. But we are going back.
You do?
I do. We are going back in a couple weeks. So just trying to refine it down. So anyway, that's my excited this week.
Okay.
On to questions. Q&A.
Q&A.
All right, I'll
Q&A.
ask you yours first.
Okay.
Since I've been chatting. Okay. So, what is something that you've heard on another show or podcast or something that recently got you thinking? Just what's something that someone pointed out, or it could be on any of the platforms, it doesn't matter. Something that's outside the book, obviously, that someone brought up, or that just kind of got your brain, your wheels spinning a little bit. What's something recently?
Well, it's not really recent, but it's been on my mind more recently, is the whole triangular numbers that Blake and Matthew Hobbies have talked quite a bit about, that you don't really believe in. But
this is why there's a
we don't have to go into it, but
no,
anyway,
we can't say that and not clarify.
Okay.
Because that's how it gets misunderstood. It's not that I don't believe there could be a clue. I'm going to get a megaphone. I'm going to get a megaphone loud enough that Blake and everyone can hear. I never said there couldn't be a clue there. This is why I'm requiring clarification. I never said that. So when you say that, then say, we're not going to talk about it. Well, that's not fair.
Well, no, because I was just trying to answer your question quickly,
but I guess. But then you got it rolling all right over again, and people are going to say, "Yep, she thinks there's nothing there." That's not what I said. I even clarified on Matthew Hobby's episode. I never said that. I said I don't think it's a cornerstone clue. You know what? I'm going to get a T-shirt. I think the triangular numbers could be not a cornerstone clue, but still might be a clue. That's what I'm going to get a T-shirt that says.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Can we
anyway,
just drop this now?
I've been trying to look more into the triangular numbers, but like I said, it's not a new thing. But the new thing that's really intrigued me is the whole Rob Levinsky interview that we talked about earlier.
that they just did with him. Yeah.
Yes, that was eye-opening and a lot. I mean, we always thought that chapter 4 was one of the big ones that had a lot of clues in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just some of the stuff that he talked about and some of the stuff he talked about with the communication between he and John.
Mm-hmm.
I need to watch it again. I've watched it twice already. I need to watch it probably like 4 times and really take notes on exactly what he's saying. Because I think there's more there than just the surface level stuff that you and I have already talked about. I think there's some more stuff that we can get out of that. But so that's probably the biggest one recently. But
yeah, so he really did help give some concrete feelings to whether something's a clue or not.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, well, if he's saying that, like, I think it was the Red Ridge or Red Ledge, right? So it says Red Ridge, but that in that interview, Rob said, well, I wrote him and said, that's incorrect, because he'd sent him just the chapter that Rob was in, which that's the chapter we're talking about.
Yeah.
He said, he sent me that chapter that was about me. And he said, I wrote back to him and pointed out that Red Ridge was incorrect, because Rob said, oh, trust me, I know where my minerals come from.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's the expert. Yeah.
And he said, I wrote him to say it was incorrect, and he still didn't change it. So that's why it really gives you some like, wait a minute. But yeah, we need to watch it again. And this time, like actually making notes and yeah.
So anyway, that's my answer. My
that's a good
short
one.
And long-term answer. But
it's a good one.
Okay. For your question, we've been boots on the ground several times. I've asked you many times, like, you still believe we're in the right spot, and on, and you do. But at what point do you think that you will give up on the lion's share and just put it off on the side? And what would you do next? Would you do another TTI box, or would you like move away from TTI altogether? So 2 questions.
Yeah, it's like a little bonus question. Well, I'll try to answer the first one. So I don't think I'm ever going to stop looking for the lion's share. And I don't even just mean theoretically. I mean physically. I don't think I'm ever going to stop, because, anyone that has a solve that we feel as strongly as we do about ours, and not in a confirmation bias way, but I feel like I have a pretty discerning clue filter. Like I'm not as easily swayed that things are clues or important. It takes me a little bit more to be convinced about that. So I feel like, if anything, I err on the side of not utilizing clues that are there rather than the opposite. So I feel like with our solve, knowing how discerning I usually am about being willing to accept something as a clue, and then having these 30 just the regional state park clues coming together without even trying, and then another probably 15 or 20 boots on the ground that directly tied to where we're at. It would be, I don't even imagine a world where it couldn't be there. And not to say it in a roostery way, like we've got it figured out. It's just the honest truth. I'm pretty discerning, and I feel like even at that level, there's so many things. So I could never not keep looking for it,
So if we're still going 8 years from now to the same area looking and not finding it, you won't move on? Or?
Well, it's like, but I mean, the area's only so big, and you already know a couple of the clues that are almost so, they would be so coincidental otherwise that it doesn't feel, that I can't even, it's only so big. Like there's only so many, I mean, it's still a good sized area, but there's only so many places it could be. And I think at that point I'd be thinking something happened to it, meaning like not someone found it, but like the hillside shifted, or whatever hidey hole it was in collapsed or did something. I'd have to only assume that, just because I feel so sure, confident that it's in the area, the broader area that we're searching. So I really, you know what? It's like I wish I could that we could just reveal our whole solve. I do. I have these like desires to like reveal our whole solve because I so badly want to like bring people in to go, do you see what we mean? And they can go, oh, like, yeah, that's not something you find just with any old solve. Some of the things we found are so unique to the things in our search area that John clearly capitalized on and said, oh, I'll make a reference to that, and then I'll make a reference to that. And they're so random. It's not just
but
like it's a
nobody
tree.
would believe you anyway, right? Even if you gave it all away,
that's probably
nobody would
true.
believe you. And because it doesn't fit their solve, it can't be right.
But if we did give our whole solve away, I don't know. Do you really think that I feel like
I think we could probably convince some people that we're onto something.
Not that difficult, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they were married to their own solve, then that's
exactly. And that's
something
what
I
I'm
can't
saying
overcome. Yeah.
A lot of people are married to their solve, and you're just not going to.
Yeah.
I mean, we are. Nobody could convince us it's somewhere else. So
I know.
Even if they had some compelling evidence that they think it's somewhere else, I don't think they could convince us at this point that.
I know. I just don't know. Unless they could somehow that place also replicated the now 50 to 60 things that, you know what I mean? I just can't even imagine a world, but then that sounds so roostery, and I don't mean it to be, but it just, there's too much that we didn't even have to really try that hard. You know, it's like we were still finding them boots on the ground trip before last.
Yeah. Well, and I still think it's there, but I'm just like, how many more times am I going to go and before I just say, I'm done? I can't
maybe
do
take
this
a break.
anymore.
Take a break from actively physically searching. Yes, I mean, I could do that.
Oh, yeah. We just did. We took like a 4-month break or whatever. We didn't go.
But that was more because we couldn't, not because.
Well, yeah, I know. But still, it's the same, you know.
Yeah. So, I mean,
we came up with a lot of new ideas in that 4 months, too.
We did.
That, narrowed it down for us. So,
yeah. So, yeah, I can imagine if I needed a physical break from searching for it. But I don't think I can imagine a world where I didn't think it was there and didn't always think it was there and just keep, from a long-term perspective, keep trying until someone else found it or we found it. I don't know. But
so during this break, would you move to a different hunt or would you just move to one of the other TTI boxes?
Oh, well, I always wanted to try to see about helping others do the other boxes, but that was if we had found the lion's share box. So
let's say we haven't. Would you move to another one? And
that's what I'm saying. I probably would just go ahead and work on other boxes, one of the other boxes, and focus on that at least until I was mentally ready to give back to the lion's share. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah. So that's my answer. I don't think I'll ever not think it's there until it's like found by someone else or us, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's
a wrap.
Do you have anything else you want to add, or?
Nope. That's it. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Thanks for watching.
Is it next episode we're going to do? Sorry. Is it next episode we're going to do our state?
Yeah. I mean, we pretty much already revealed it, but I guess we can.
But I mean, the outlining the clues for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So maybe next episode we're going to lay out our whole state level solve.
So.
All right.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Right.
Bye,
Thanks
everybody.
for watching.